What's up guys, welcome to Daily Dose of Reddit. This is your host, Zach, and today's subreddit is r/ChoosingBeggars. Alright, this story's called Affluent Mommy Doesn't Want to Pay for Her Son's Tutoring. Story time! This happened some years ago, but it's always fun to reminisce. Back in the day, during my first years of college, I used to do some private tutoring to earn some honest cash. My rates were definitely low, something around 10 euros per hour. This happened in Italy, and that rate was lowish even for Italian standards. And if it was me going to the pupil's house, I would ask an extra flat 5 euros to cover the price of the tickets for public transportation. One day, I receive a call from this woman. She tells me that her dear son needs some tutoring in math. Couple of hours, 2 times per week, standard fare. She gives me the address, and I reckon it's one of the richest, classiest areas of the city. I tell her that the price is 10 euros per hour plus the 5 euros to cover the tickets for transportation, and she accepts. Alright, day 1. I go to her house, and it's an actually huge house. These people are clearly loaded. I get introduced to the son and to his room. The walls are plastered with official paraphernalia of the local soccer team. Very expensive stuff. There's a massive flat screen towering in the middle of the room and 3 or 4 gaming consoles hooked to it. All the latest models. As I sort of expected, the guy's a little spoiled brat, ignorant as heck, with that constant sneer which is typical of those that feel they're entitled to the world. And that clearly tells me that he has no intention of improving or paying attention. As a result, those initial 2 hours of tutoring are an absolute hell. Time passes and it's time for me to leave. We go to the living room where his mom is waiting for me, and she hands me 2 10-euro bills. Ma'am, it would be 25 euros. She's looking perplexed with a hint of annoyance.
Why 25 euros? You said it was 10 euros per hour and it's been 2 hours.
Sure, but I also told you that if I'm coming here, I ask for an additional euros for public transportation. After a couple of seconds of silence,
does that mean I have to give you these extra 5 euros every time?
Well, you could send your son to my house if you want to save, clearly annoyed.
But why do you need to ask for extra money?
I'm starting to lose my temper. Well, ma'am, I still need to physically get here. I don't really pocket anything out of these extra 5 euros. I use them to buy the tickets. Would you prefer me to count this as actual tutoring time? In that case, it takes me around 1 hour to come here, and it would be an extra 10 euros. At this point, she relents and hands me an extra 5 euro bill, but it's clear that she's pissed. Day 2 of tutoring arrives. 30 minutes before I leave to get there, my phone rings, and it's the mother. Hello?
Hey, it's
Mom's name.
We thought about this tutoring thing, and we didn't like a certain thing. We don't need your tutoring anymore.
Okay, have a nice day. I conclude, dropping the call without even waiting for a reply. Okay, yep, that is entitlement at its finest. And I don't think it's just because she's being stingy. She just doesn't think your time is worth any money, basically. And that's why she was getting annoyed at that. She doesn't value what you bring to the table. And you know what, man? You don't need that. Alright, this story's called And I'm Not Gonna Pay a Ching Chong website for a single anime I have to see. So I used to run a fan-subbing Chinese animation channel for fun, and I have a server for people to use my subs as long as their purpose is to translate into other languages. Currently, I'm not doing it, but still left the subs for those who are interested in translating it. This person, okay, so I skimmed through this entire story, and they refer to S as S the entire time. No him, no her, nothing. S. There's literally no pronoun used for S, so it's weird. Okay, anyway, let's just call them Sam. That's a nice gender-neutral name. This person, Sam, comes sliding into my server, and the first thing Sam does is spewing feedback filled with vulgarity. Sam didn't like that I placed a watermark over my subbed videos. I would have understood where Sam was coming from if Sam was referring to my first video where I didn't know how to put the watermark properly and made changes to later videos which the general audience approved. As quoted,
"It's your hard work, but do you see every freaking fan subber doing the crap you do? And I can't even see the anime, nor do I respect your work after what you're doing. I was hoping to donate to your case, but oh well. Screw me. Watch this gay or intellectually disabled episode with the big black box below."
I was taken aback, but then I replied to Sam. If Sam didn't like it, Sam could simply just not watch my videos and watch the official ones. Sam then continues to say that I wouldn't send Sam subs after Sam has ranted. Oh my god. Which was kinda right. I was still taken aback, but decided to continue and see how things go. Sam asked me for the official subs, which I replied with the official streaming platforms. Sam didn't like the idea that the official platforms need to pay a membership in order to watch the videos. Sam continues on to ask me for my subs, even though Sam's feedback to me were that my subs were bad. So I asked Sam why he would want my subs, even though Sam already thinks it's bad. Sam replied with,
"What choice do I have?"
which I answered with watching on the official streaming platform. And here I quote from Sam.
"I am not gonna pay for a single anime, that too on some Ching Chong website."
It got me laughing and also insulted me because those anime, which are Chinese animation, originated from the place Sam called Ching Chong. Sam was not only annoyed by my big black watermark, which was only present for one video, Sam was also annoyed by my 25% opacity watermark that is hidden behind the subs. Sam wanted to watch the anime in a nice HD way, and complained about watching bad quality videos on pirated websites. Well, if Sam wanted to watch it in a nice HD way, Sam should have just went to the official platforms and fork a bit of money to support the creators. So when I told Sam to not watch it because Sam didn't want to fork out money to watch it in HD, which was what Sam wanted, and then goes to feedback about my subs and still wanting it. He started apologizing to me so that he can get the subs. I decided not to give him the subs. After all, my subs are supposed to be used with the intention of translating it into other languages. I told Sam about the intention, which Sam replied, Sam will translate it into French, which was already done. So I told Sam and left my server thereafter. Well, I wanted to tell Sam that he can watch it with the trial membership, but I guess Sam left too early. Oh well. Not only is Sam picky about pirating it, Sam is also an idiot using a slur about the platform the anime originated from. Apologies in advance if some parts don't make sense because I'm used to using my native country's Creole language. Okay, well, that makes a bit more sense. But damn, this dude is crazy. I mean, first of all, OP, that's really cool that you subtitled an entire show. Like, that's badass. I could never do that. That just seems really tedious. But Sam seems like a jerk. Alright, this story's called Harassed by Homeless Man at Carl's Jr. I drove to Carl's Jr. to buy 2 double Western bacon burgers, and the line was kinda big for that location, so I was the last one. Homeless man walks to the drive-thru area and skips every car that's in front of me. I see him, but I'm vibing out to my music, and I couldn't hear him until he got in front of my car, so I couldn't go. I stopped and looked at his face, and he started doing a bunch of faces like they do in cartoons, so I assumed he was cracked out. But I rolled down my window anyway and found out he was actually saying words.
"Hey honey, do you think you can spare $2 to $3? I'm really hungry. Thank you."
He said thank you before I could even respond, but I love helping the homeless because it's what I grew up doing, so I didn't care because I was gonna say yes anyway. I pulled out my wallet and there was a whole ass 4 bills in there. A 20, 10, 5, and a 1. My first thought was, damn, I only got a $1, and he asked for 2 to 3. me. I didn't want to make him upset, so I gave him the $5 bill because that's 2 plus 3, and he immediately pocketed it. As I was rolling up my window, he says,
Actually, honey, do you think you could buy me a chicken sandwich? Because I don't know how and I don't want to embarrass myself.
confused as frick, yeah, sure, my guy. I'll bring it to you after the window. Right as I was getting ready to go into the line again, he says,
Can you also make it a large?
while motioning with his hands, the cup size.
Oh, and can you also get me a dessert like an ice cream or something?
He wanted a combo meal after just asking for a chicken sandwich. I definitely wasn't gonna buy him a combo meal, but he seemed nice, so I was still gonna get him a chicken sandwich at least. I ordered just one of the 2 double westerns because the lady asked me if I wanted to try a Black Angus, and I said yes because she sounded nice, along with the chicken sandwich, which meant there was 3 different sandwiches in the bag when I rolled up to the window. Homeless guy was right there watching the whole thing. I drove to him and he got pissing distance close to the car and started looking inside while I was confused on which was his burger. I gave him the sandwich and he stood there and deadass told me,
My drink?
I couldn't, my guy. I don't have enough money to spend.
Come on, you couldn't buy me a drink? This sandwich only cost $1.
That costs like $6, dude. I'm sorry.
Can I at least have one of those?
He points at the 5 empty Monster cans on the floor that are easier visible from when he peeked in. He started getting more aggressive and got closer as if I was gonna hand him the Monster. I started getting very scared because I'm not good with conflict and letting people down because I'm a sensitive boy. He reached out his hand really fast. I'm also not good with that, and I told him no.
Can you at least give me some money so I could buy something?
I'm sorry, dude, that's all I can do. I was rolling up my window because he started getting really erratic and angry. I was starting to pull out when I heard,
Do you have ranch at least?
I left and took the long way home because I wanted to listen to music and vibe again. Why did he ask for money after you already gave him a $5 bill? Oh man. See, I understand, struggling or whatever, but man, when you give someone something, they get so pushy and they keep asking for more, and it's like, man, I already gave what I was comfortable with. Why you gotta make me feel bad? It's so uncomfortable. But again, I understand, not everyone's willing to give people stuff, so when you do get stuff, you might want a little more, but come on, don't make people regret it. Alright, this story's called Someone Complaining About Charity Shop/Thrift Shop Prices and Choosing to Unload Onto a Volunteer Worker. Me. Fun fact, thrift stores are called charity shops over here in the UK/Northern Ireland because they are always associated with charity, or with a charity. So I was doing some volunteer work for a charity shop for heart conditions, and I had been assigned to stand outside with a money box so people walking past the shop could donate. It seemed a little silly to me, as I thought it would have been more effective to walk around with the box, but hey, it beat ironing donated clothes in the summer heat, and I burn like paper under any kind of warmth. Now, we all know that charity shop prices tend to be pretty low, especially for donated fare, and even the stuff made firsthand for the shop was reasonably priced, and our location was in a pretty nice spot right in the middle of the busiest commercial walkway. So we always got more decent stuff than charity shops more out of the way, and again, we were reasonably priced. Nothing that anyone would contest over, right? Apparently not for this choosing beggar. Now, I will admit, I only caught the tail end of this person's righteous ire, but his motivation would be obvious. So I'm standing there, still thanking the heavens for being outside, when this guy comes storming out, enough that I could feel the breeze shift as he passed. But he turned back to look at me, clearly miffed about something, and he stomped over, and I'm thinking, oh no.
Why is everything so expensive in there?
Excuse me? He repeated the question more insistently, and I was internally panicking because I don't do well with confrontation, and this guy just towered over me. So I could only blurt out that everything in the shop wasn't that expensive, and it wasn't. It was a charity shop, for frick's sake. The most expensive thing in there was probably only 30 pounds or 41 bucks, and that was stuff made for the store. Everything else was super cheap, but I never never said that. All I could manage was those words. He frowned, clearly not happy with my answer.
But all that money, and where does it go? You're all ripping people off?
Now, if I was in a better state of mind, I would have roasted this guy for thinking that a charity shop was ripping people off. And at this point, I was stuttering. I told him that the money goes to a heart condition charity and it still wasn't expensive. And I probably didn't sound convincing, but he seemed to think he wouldn't get what he wanted to hear from me. So off he storms. And off I run back inside, praying for my heart to calm down because, whoa! I told my manager about this and she filled in the rest. Our choosing beggar was apparently trying to haggle the price down for a bracelet for his girlfriend. But, you know, prices in stores generally can't be haggled, and honestly, if he wasn't even willing to pay full price for a charity store piece of jewelry, then I doubt he would have a girlfriend for very long. So it was quite obvious what his intentions were when he spoke to me. The manager wouldn't budge, and he thought he'd take his anger out on me, a volunteer worker who was outside just trying to get donations from the public. He wanted an easier target. I'm just so glad I don't work retail anymore. What a cheapskate, dude. OP's right. If he's not willing to freaking drop a few bucks without haggling the price down at a charity shop thing, he's not gonna have a girlfriend for much longer. Alright, this story's called At Least 3 Toppings. So it finally happened to me today. I just finished a morning of chores and I was in front of a local cafe. I was waiting for my order outside because of Brovid, there was no inside dining. A homeless man approached me and started going on about how he had no money because someone had taken his debit card. At the end of his rant, he asked me to buy him a large pizza with at least 3 toppings. He came off so aggressively as well, so I said no and said perhaps I could get him a slice. He then started shouting,
I don't want a slice! I want a whole pizza!
After I kept refusing, he eventually walked away while still yelling at me. Well, I had gotten my order and went to walk home. He was ahead of me, walking in the same direction. He then looked back at me and accused me of stalking him, started screaming at me more, until I convinced him I was going to call the police, and he promptly left. Overall, it was not the experience I was expecting going out today. That's creepy. Being homeless doesn't mean you're crazy, but there are definitely some crazy homeless people out there, and those are scary. Okay, that's irrefutable. That's just the truth. They're scary.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode.